Hello, macro students, and welcome to our lecture on Module 5, which is about demand. So, when most people think about the subject of economics, they immediately go, oh, supply and demand, because this is one of our most basic kind of lessons of economics, and it's what a lot of what we're going to learn about the rest of this semester is based off of. So this is kind of the foundation of our class. Now, if this class so far has sort of felt like, kind of all of these unrelated topics, that is true because it is just giving you guys the just some really basic economic concepts as that foundation for the rest of the class. So, we've talked about the PPF, but this is different than the PPF. So, you know, don't worry if you're like, how is this related to the PPF? It's not. All right. So modules 5, 6, and 7, the last ones that we have for Unit 1, they are related. So this supply and demand model is one model, and we're going to learn how to use the model, why it looks the way it does, and then kind of how we figure out, okay, if this change gets made, then how is that going to impact other things? All right, so this page 1 here of our notes, this is basically just an introduction to modules 5, 6, and 7. So let's write that down. Let's add that in. Intro to mods 5, 6, and 7. That's what we're doing here. Okay, and then over here we see another set of axes, and I'm just going to show you right now that our our model looks like this. So we have supply line, demand line, and then a P here for price and a Q here for quantity. So we are not going to get to this entire module or until this entire model until the end of module 6 and then into module 7. Today we're just focusing on one of these lines, which is the demand line. And then for module 6, we'll get into the supply line. All right, so this whole model, what it does is it's used to explain how competitive markets work, meaning that competitive markets, meaning where things are bought and sold. So this model, it'll explain to us the behavior of buyers and sellers. It'll explain to us what the price will be. And when I say the price, I mean like the price of some particular product, some sort of good or service, something that's being sold. It'll talk to us about why prices change, when you're like, whoa, why did the price of that go up? We'll talk about why that would happen and how much of the product will be produced and sold, which is called the quantity supplied, and then why the amount supplied would change. So that's what we're going to learn about for the rest of this unit in modules 5, 6, and 7. So let's go on to page 2 of our notes. And we start out with our definition of demand. Our definition of demand, it says how much of a product people are willing and able to buy at different prices. So every product has a demand. So here's my marker, right? There is demand for this product. At a certain price, how many people would be willing and able to buy it is the demand, okay? So how many people are willing and able to buy this marker when it's 10 cents, when it's $1, when it's $10, right? And I know when I said $10, some of you were thinking, there's no way that I would buy that marker for $10, right? Well, that just means that you're not a part of that demand for this marker at $10, okay? All right, so then there's a law of demand. You know how in science classes there's laws, like laws of physics, the law of gravity? Well, we have those here in economics as well. So the law of demand says when the price of something goes up, fewer people will buy it. Ceteris paribus, meaning all other things equal. And when the price of something goes down, more people will buy it. Ceteris paribus. So this term, ceteris paribus, And I'm not saying it right. It's a Latin term. I don't really know how to say it properly, but it's probably got some cool accent that I don't have. It just means that all other things are equal or unchanging. And what that means is, so it says here, when the price of something goes up, fewer people will buy it. And in general, that's true, right? When I mentioned the $10 marker, all of a sudden people are like, I don't want to buy that anymore. It's $10. Come on now. Get the same thing for 45 cents. But can you find some examples out there where the price goes up of something, but fewer people will buy it? Yes, you can. But when we add this phrase, ceteris paribus, it means that the only thing changing in this situation is the price. If everything else remained the same, then this statement will be true. If only the price changed, then fewer people will buy it. And then down here, if the price goes down, more people will buy it. Okay. Now, our next term that we're going to add in here is quantity demanded, which is the amount of a good or service people are willing and able to buy at one specific price. Now, these economists, man, they really irritate me with this part because look up here at demand. How much of a product people are willing and able to buy at different prices. And then down here, quantity demanded, the amount of a good or service people are willing and able to buy at one specific price. Those two things are similar. Demand is all the prices. Quantity demanded is just one price. And when we graph this out, demand is going to be a line. Quantity demanded is going to be a point. So maybe we want to add that into our notes. So demand, a line on a graph, and many different prices. And then quantity demanded is a point on a graph. And that is only one price. So quantity demanded is saying that if something has only, if we're just thinking about like a good or service, for example, the marker, and if we're just thinking about one price, here we go, one price. So it's saying at the price of $5, X amount of people will buy those cookies. I just picked cookies as some random good or service, right? So that would be a quantity demanded. But demand would be how many people would buy the cookies at $1 and $2 and $3 and $4 and $5 and so on. Let's go to page 3. Okay, we just said that the law of demand is when the price of something goes up, fewer people will buy it, ceteris paribus. And when the price of something goes down, more people will buy it, ceteris paribus. So we can always say that. And like we did on page 2 of our notes, we could write it out into sentences, but nobody wants to do that. I'm never going to do that. I only write the law of demand in symbols, and I like to keep it very, very simple. So P, up arrow, comma, capital Q, small d, down arrow. Whoops, I screwed up the arrow. And then below that, P, down arrow, comma, capital Q, small d, up arrow, comma, ceteris paribus. Okay. That is the law of demand in symbols. So that's way easier to write. Sorry, I made this here. I'm just going to rewrite that. There, that. Okay. So when the price, P, goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. When the price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. ceteris paribus. Same thing, only written much shorter with symbols. All right, well, we can also write our law of demand as a chart, and that chart is called the demand schedule. So here it gives us three different prices, $1, $2, $3. Now the law of demand, so here our price is kind of going up, right? 1, 2, 3. So our quantity demanded, if the price is going up, quantity demanded has to be going down. So 3, 2, 1. Or 5,000, 3,000, 1,000, or whatever, as long as the numbers are going down. And then we can take this schedule and turn it into a graph, which is called a demand curve. So we see our X and Y axes, and here's our price, and here's our quantity. And so we can put in our price of $1, $2, and $3. And our quantity that we're working with above here is 1, 2, and 3, so we'll put that in. And at a price of $1, the quantity demanded is 3. So $1, 3, plot that point. $2, quantity demanded is 2. And $3, quantity demanded is 1. And then we get to do my favorite part of econ, these graphs. Connect the dots and label it D for demand. That is how you show the law of demand with a graph. This graph shows the law of demand. This graph shows that if the price goes down from $3 to $2, the quantity demanded will go up from 1 to 2. Because the way that these graphs work is you go horizontally over and then vertically down. So at a price of $3, we go horizontally over until we hit the line, and then vertically down, the quantity demanded is 1. At a price of $2, the quantity demanded is 2. At a price of $1, the quantity demanded is 3. So there are your 4 ways to show the law of demand. Okay, I'm going to pause our video here and make this into a 2-part video. So we will start with page 4 in the next part of the video.